1999 Oldsmobile Bravada. Oh, the dealer saw you coming. This was the most expensive Blazer variant you could buy in 1999. The Blazer was $19,000. The Oldsmobile Bravada was $32,000, and adjusted for inflation to 2021 is $49,000. And for all of that, you get leather, a CD changer, some weird GM all-wheel drive system, and a sense of stupid superiority. They saw you coming, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know what I want.
And the salesman transforms into a nega and gets boners. And the salesman says,
You, Marion Reaganhammer, look like you want something classy.
Oh, yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, you do. I'll tell you what, you park this in front of your row home in a crumbling Pennsylvania mining town, and everybody will look at you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, your opinion will matter more, and the editor will finally publish your letters.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Now let's talk to the finance department.
1999 Oldsmobile Bravada. This is the new worst car we've ever driven because the Bravada was so overhyped. And in 1999, the Cadillac Escalade came out, and that became the new depository for your dot-com capital gains. So the Oldsmobile Bravada was left to suck up Cadillac's crumbs. And as the years went on, I remember seeing Bravadas, in Philly, like into the mid-2000s. These were where all the 22-inch rims went. You can't even afford to use Escalade, so what do you get? A Bravada. Oldsmobile Bravada, the official car of the mother whose son got in-school suspension for bringing ninja stars to school. Oldsmobile Bravada. You suck. The ride finds bumps that aren't even there. You can turn the wheel for imaginary turns that aren't there, and the car keeps going straight. The poorly sprung solid rear axle sloshes the car around over speed bumps like a school bus running over the curb. The Vortec 4300 V6, it protests throttle input, and then it moans and acquiesces like a father caving in and letting us get Burger King drive-thru after church. This car sucks so much I didn't even want to finish my test drive. I was more interested in the ATC office, and I pulled over to pay respects. Oldsmobile Bravada. You worked hard your whole life at the metal and ethnic slur factory. Now take your retirement with a luxury SUV to drive to Dee Dee's Diner, where you'll sit from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. and spread the newspaper across the entire booth table like a general planning an attack while Sonny Came Home by Sean Colvin plays overhead. This is it, Ronnie. This is retirement. The Bravada got like 16 to 19 miles per gallon, but no one cared because it was $90.99 and $9.99. And gas prices were at an all-time low. I remember we went to family reunion. I jerked off in the bathroom of my relative's house because it was that boring. My point is, gas prices were like 73 cents. LaPorte, Indiana, that's where we were. Ugh. God, I hate the Bravada. But people were buying these things because at that point, minivans were jokes. No one wanted to be seen in a minivan, so people were buying SUVs as fast as they could crank them out. Oldsmobile Bravada. This is the car for the wife if the wife says, oh, I don't know when it was good, but my husband takes care of the oil changes. 1999 Oldsmobile Bravada. People financed this car in 99. Financed this car. And when the dot-com bubble burst, people were still on the hook for this car. I don't know what kind of cultural relevance Oldsmobile had by the late 90s. I wasn't paying attention, but I'm guessing it wasn't that much. The brand had a history that's longer than the time it takes to find the perforations in a roll of black trash bags. And the Bravada is part of that history. For one, it was the first truck-based Oldsmobile offered since the era of the company's founder, Ransom Eli Olds. Back in the late 1910s, when you treated a broken leg with whiskey, you could name your kid Ransom. It was also Oldsmobile's first and only SUV, and it was exclusive to the United States on its debut. Lucky us. This car is the inverse of everything good and decent the 1990s left us. Yeah, people liked the engine, but did they? I mean, it's just a 350 small block with 2 pistons removed. It's like they just chopped off the back of the engine, like hair with gum in it. It made 190 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque. And it has the 4-speed 4L60E transmission, the Glass Joe of all LS swaps. That was the only transmission you got. And with the exception of Rancho brand shock absorbers, this Bravada is all stock. I just don't know how to care about this car. It's like math. How do I learn to care about algebra? I do it because if I don't do it, I won't graduate. God bless you people who love this class. The Bravada is like a friendship you just don't have the patience to keep up with anymore. It's just a pile of bolts and gear ratios and the veneer of elegance. It's a plate of $45 garlic butter salmon served on a bed of pubes. Oldsmobile Bravada, sponsored by the guy who jokes about things you told him in confidence. As far as style, it's entirely provincial. This is a car for a man whose favorite hamburger place is the one closest to his house. There's nothing sophisticated happening here. It's rural luxury, but without any of the charm that typically goes with endless stretches of back roads that bend like rules on Casual Friday. You get this Bubbly stuck-on body kit, which was introduced for the Bravada for the 1996-1997 model years, after they skipped even making a Bravada in 95. For this, the second generation, which lasted from 96 to 2001, the Bravada ran on the GMT 330 platform, which is the same platform of the S10 Blazer. But there's nothing here to really make it stand out as an experience, except as a point of juxtaposition against something better. Oldsmobile Bravada, the official car of slowing down when you see a Ford Explorer with a roof rack and steel wheels. What seems to be the problem, officer? Yeah, you know how bland you were going back there? The one benefit it had over the competition is that it implemented features into the standard model that were only optional on Blazers and Jimmys. I'm talking anti-lock brakes and smart track, all-wheel drive, remote keyless entry, and the 4.3-liter W code, whatever that means, engine. You could get, this was kind of the beginnings of OnStar, you could get OnStar as well as part of a cell phone unit thing, along with an optional Bose sound system. Whether they were real Bose speakers or they just sourced them and put the label on it, I don't know. All of that cost extra. But all of that was just a bunch of bells and whistles to distract you from how boring the whole package is. It's a car with no ambition, because Oldsmobile is a farmer whose crop is indifference. Oldsmobile Bravada, the official car of someone who got talked into buying penny stocks. The only explanation for having this today is either you aren't into cars at all, or you're so into cars you just need something as a cheap daily beater to save money, which is the case with Logan, because he got this car for $1,800, and then the heater core broke, and because it's a Blazer, the entire dash and everything had to come out. It's not bad for that price. It's a box with wheels, an engine that starts and goes, and he's just going to drive it until it falls apart. Logan told us more people have been fucked by this car than in this car. God, the ride is only nice when it's going straight and smooth. Everything else just feels like you're getting jerked off by calloused hands. But the marketing. The GM marketing department did such a good job with the Bravada that they convinced people they were buying into some sort of exclusive club. I mean, the owners of these cars were the same people who had wives at the bottom of a multi-level marketing scam. You know, it's the perfect car for its time because it embodies the moral outrage of 1990s suburbia. That because I have an SUV and because I have a turnkey business, I know better than everybody else. The late 90s were the age where people came out in droves to say that video games are ruining society by causing apathy at best and violence at worst. Video games are always going to be the manufactured enemy when people need a quick and easy answer for why their kids being assholes isn't their fault.
Because this can't happen. This can't happen. I drive a nice car. My house is in a nice neighborhood. I have a backyard pool. I have a 2-car garage. I have a Labrador, and I have one boy and one girl and a ride-on mower and I have a Dell Dimension personal computer. I know how to use ClarisWorks. I have a 56K modem. I have 1,000 hours free of American Online, and I drive a Bravada. I have acquired all the talismans of a civilized life. So why is my son bringing ninja scars to school?
Before Galaxy Brain, there was Bravada Brain. The unshakable idea that an object buys your way into correctness. You're free from having to self-reflect. Because men with Bravada Brain don't use punctuation. And they have a whole speech prepared to complain about tip culture. They're married men selling mutual funds in an office with a Cheaters Never Prosper poster above their desks and secretaries beneath it. Their favorite whiskeys are whatever they can talk about the longest. At dinner parties, they're surrounded by cascading discharges of indifference. They drive Oldsmobile Bravadas. The world isn't their oyster. They are the oyster, and the Bravada is the pearl. Oldsmobile Bravada. Whatever.
Our second channel's up in life. Go check it out now. Podcasts and essays, also cars. It would be nice if you could click like and subscribe. Weird content, so much more to come through the P